Protected by semi-sentient barbed wire that wraps around those foolish enough to stray too close, constant danger from the presence of prowling death commandos and artillery witch bombardment, the heretic trenches are a formidable obstacle for the faithful. The pyramid-shaped pillboxes and casemates of the infernal forces have turned back countless futile frontal assaults with withering machine gun fire and devastating hell-wrought artillery. Surprises are difficult to mount, especially when the moon waxes and the horrors created by the path of the beast prowl no man's land. The weapon of choice against these formidable obstacles in Duke Constantine's arsenal are the Stosstruppen, the elite shock troops of the Free State of Prussia. Even in this nation known for their militaristic ways, the Stosstruppen are the elite. Chosen from mountaineers and veterans of the fierce battles against the northern heretics, with the cream of the combat engineers and marksmen mixed in. They are called the Duke's Spear, for their speciality is to pierce the enemy lines and clear the path for the reserves. The training and selection process is ruthless. Athleticism is emphasized, as is the ability to rapidly advance over any kind of terrain. Just as important is to learn how to make use of both camouflage and even the tiniest bit of terrain for cover. They learn to hit their targets in total darkness and train wrestling with hulking communicants. But the most important selection criteria is to have iron in your soul. To engage with the armies of the damned in close quarters combat requires a certain kind of soldier, one who is willing to detonate their last grenade when their own innards have been ripped open by the claws of a war wolf, or wrestle a heretic anointed and look into their eyes, see the hellfires raging there, and not to flinch but bring their trench club down. As the Stosstruppen gather for an attack, no sound is heard. Each assault has been carefully practiced, and any signs needed are given with hand signals. Heavy weapons of the unit open the assault, scattering the enemy and forcing them to take cover. Then it is a mad dash across no man's land. Violence commences as the flamethrowers sweep the exposed enemy, followed by a flurry of grenades into trenches and dugouts. Then the assault groups spread out like the wings of an eagle, clearing the trenches, sweeping behind the enemy lines and disabling lines of communication as well as any rearguard defensive units. In close quarters, the Stosstruppen favor daggers, trench clubs, entrenching tools, and automatic pistols, though their favorite weapon by far is the grenade, carried with them in great quantities, and used to take out strong points as well as to reach behind loopholes and clearing entrances to bunkers and pillboxes. As for ranged weaponry, submachine guns and pistols are favored and feature many modifications compared to standard issue versions, typically with larger magazines as the brutal close quarters combat depletes ammunition very rapidly. The Stosstruppen uniforms reflect their role. Mountain boots and leather, reinforced jackets and trousers that protect their vital areas against barbed wire and enemy blades. Their armor contains far higher quantities of orichalcum than those of standard foot sloggers. This allows for much lighter and more flexible suits and helmets, which offer superior protection. The famed spikes of their pickelhaube helmets are detachable and are usually not worn in the front lines as they make their wearers easy targets. Compared to many other faithful soldiers, the pride of the Free State's armed forces are allowed a great deal of freedom of decision-making on the battlefield. Many warbands are given high-level objectives and encouraged to find their own way to achieve them over days, weeks, and months. Only single-minded determination can carry the Prussian advances through the enemy lines. One must learn to love carnage and death, for in melee there is no room for mercy or hesitation. A Sturman who survives for any length of time begins to resemble their hell-twisted enemies more and more after each grueling encounter. Such is the price that the Great War extracts. The heretics think that night is their ally. They are mistaken. It is ours.